60 degrees yesterday to 25 degrees this morning with about a 15-mile-an-hour northwest wind. I'm sitting the edge of a cornfield this morning. I don't usually like sitting on fields in the morning, but last night I had a great big 8-pointer show up on camera with a doe, so they're in this area, and I'm hoping, since it's what we're predicting to be the lockdown phases, that he's staying with her today. So I'm gonna sit in here and hopefully they walk by. It's about all you can do when they're in lockdown. So already seen one little buck. Might do a little bit of calling. I had a couple bucks cruising last night too. So we'll see what happens. Finally got a good cold morning. That's the 7th buck I've seen this morning already. Got the 2 and 3-year-olds cruising, and I just had a 5.5-year-old double split G2 buck locked up with a doe heading towards my brother, so see if he can't get a shot. After seeing the double split G210 for the very first time in 2020, I was super excited for the future on this farm. I started off 2022 shed season hunting with my girls, hoping to find where this deer was living. Do you see anything?
No, not yet. We didn't see this yet.
Wow.
What?
Did you find one?
Yeah.
Look, Hadley. Sissy found another one. Wow.
So how did we didn't see this?
I don't know how we didn't see that one. We just walked here, didn't we?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's weird.
Keep walking. Is there anything else?
I didn't see nothing.
You don't see nothing else?
Yeah. I just saw
After no sheds and very minimal pictures the year before, it was very clear our farm was not his core area. With the 2022 season approaching, I always try to come up with ideas on how to make our properties better, even without the use of food plots. Installing water holes has been one of those ideas that I've come up with, and the deer have really started to use them. As the month of July gets here, it's always my favorite time of year. It's time to get the reveals out, to see what bucks we have on the farms, and see what bucks we'll be chasing this fall. The most important part of deer season, in my opinion, is getting the end line dead on and ready for that moment of truth. So I spend most of my summer shooting my bow as much as I can. excited is an understatement. We all wait for this week of October to really get in the timber and start hunting mornings. When your big mature bucks are first, looking for those first does. Probably do a little bit of rattling this morning, see if we can't spice the timber up a little bit. About 38 degrees this morning. Got a deer coming right here, so we're gonna keep it pretty short and sweet. It's November 6th. We've had awful, awful weather for about the past week. 4 or 5 days anyway. Finally got a perfect morning. It's about 35 degrees. The only bad thing is we got a southwest wind. I was hoping for a north, but we didn't get it. But we're in one of my favorite trees, on the edge of an unpicked cornfield. They still haven't got it picked. Well, here it is, the evening of November 11th. Wind's blowing about 30 miles an hour. I don't even know if you can hear me. But it's been a brutal day for me. I've seen one yearling doe. Just came and did a hanging hunt. I hung a Novix on the edge of this cornfield where I've been getting a bunch of bucks checking mock scrape below this tree. Finally got a calm day after 2 days of brutal wind. It's November 13th. Seen several shooters the last 2 days. It is dead calm this morning and we got in here clean. Haven't heard any deer running around this morning, but I think a lot of the big ones are in lockdown. So we're just sitting as long as we can, hoping one of these bucks breaks off from one of these does and goes looking again. Sit in here, see what happens, see if we can't catch one cruising. Let's go, November 13th. He was grunting up a storm out there. Mature doe and her yearling. Had that been a mature buck, probably would have killed him at 20 yards. Brett. Brett. I smoked him. I just shot a big one. You remember the split G2 buck? The double split G2 buck that we've had here for years. I just killed him. Just shot a really good buck. Pretty sure it's a buck I've had on camera here for a couple years. Call him the split G2 buck. But I'm pretty sure I made a really good hit on him. Gonna give him some time and get out of here. But I shot between a tree that was about a 6-inch gap. And he mule kicked. It looked like I hit him good. We'll see. Pray for me. God, I'm shaking. Really bad. Well, guys, just shot a pretty good one. Tracking him right now. I'm finding decent blood, but it looks like lung blood. But he's gone about 80 yards so far. Looks like lung blood though. All right, well, shot a big one this morning. Unfortunately, I didn't get it on film. He walked right past the frame on me. I apologize for that. My GoPro quit working, but this deer's went a long ways. About, I'd say 300 yards, if not a little more. But he's laying out here in the river, so let's go check him out. That's him. That's the split G2 buck. That is him. We've had this deer on camera here for at least 7 or 8 years. That deer is 7 or 8 years old. And my oldest buck I've ever killed. And he never shows up until this time of year, mid-November. I have no pictures of him this year. Looks like we might have got him in the shoulder a little bit, but he's down. That is awesome. That's it. 1, 2, 3. Well, here he is, the minimum 8.5-year-old buck we deemed the split G2 buck. He's been on the farm for the last 4 years that I've been a part of it. And every single year we've got him on camera mid-November. He shows up, he chases does, and then he's gone for the rest of the year. I thought it fitting for this deer, being as old as he is, to get him out here out of the creek and up here where it's really pretty on our family farm here. And just get some good video of him and give him a real hero. This deer's been a challenge. In the 4 years that we've known about this deer, he's only been seen one time, and that was by myself. I saw him 2 years ago to the date of killing him on November 13th. And I honestly cannot believe this deer showed up again, and I was blessed enough to harvest this buck. I did miss the kill shot. I'm pretty upset about that, but I'm not gonna let it take away from the caliber of deer this is. He field dressed 236 pounds. That's the biggest deer I've ever killed. Giant goalpost brow tines. At one point I actually called him goalpost just because he looked like he had goalposts between his head. I mean, just an amazing deer. I got one velvet picture of this buck back in August, I think, maybe September, and he really didn't look as big as he is. These giant dagger G2 points are really long. I just feel blessed I was there when he showed up on the farm again and I was able to get a 30-yard shot on him. What a beautiful buck. And I'm extremely happy to use my first Illinois buck tag on a deer like this. Doesn't get any better. Team Radical 2022.
When it comes to spring or fall food plots, your bedding grasses, your mineral, your access and exit screen, and your upland game mixes, Real World Wildlife Products has you covered. It's not about a fancy bag. It's about actual seed and proven results.